All right, the last thing we're going to do is use probabilities to make predictions about future events. So we're going to look at 1, 2, and 3 on this page, and then I want you to finish out the rest. So for number 1, a fast food chain surveys a random sample of students to determine what pizza they prefer. Cheese pizza is preferred by 40 students and pepperoni preferred by 28 students. So based on these results, how many of the 340 total students could we expect to prefer cheese? So since we're looking at cheese pizza, I want to know how many of the sample preferred cheese. So 40 preferred cheese pizza, and we need to know the total. So 40 plus 28 students. Okay, so 40 plus the 28 students. That's going to give us 68 students total. Okay, and so we can go ahead and simplify that to 40 out of 68. That's our part over our whole. Right, and remember our proportion, we set it up so that on the other side is also part over whole. So this 340 students represents our whole. So we're going to do 40 over 68 equals what number over 340? And so we can cross multiply, so we can multiply 40 times 340. And then we're going to have to divide by 68 to solve. So 40 times 340. And we know that equals 68x, so we divide by 68 to get x. Okay, so you can go ahead and solve this. Right. For number 2, this one's a little tricky. On the subway, 8 out of 11 people are carrying a briefcase. Okay, based on this information, if there are 700 people on the subway, how many do not have a briefcase? So this first proportion, or this first ratio said 8 out of 11 are carrying. So that means 3 out of 11 are not carrying, okay? And we could expect how many out of 700 to not be carrying. So again, we're going to cross multiply 3 times 700. And we know that equals 11 times x, so we're going to divide by 11 to get x by itself. So you can also go ahead and solve that one. All right, number 3, suppose a coin is flipped 10,000 times. What is a reasonable prediction for the number of times the coin lands on tails? So remember, the coin is going to land on tails 1 out of 2 times. Okay, so if we flip it 10,000 times, how many times would it be on tails? I just want to point this out. You probably already know the answer, but another way to solve proportions is scaling. So when that number goes into the second number really easily, for example, this one, it's going to be times 5,000. Okay, we can multiply that numerator by 5,000 also. We can scale to solve our proportion, and we know x would